In order to complete this lab, you will need to be able to control how much voltage is being generated by the MyDAC to your circuit. And one way to do this is to go into LabView. So once you open up LabView, make a blank VI, and it'll bring you to a page similar to this where it'll give you the front panel window and the block diagram window. And from here, I'm just going to right click on the block diagram, go to Input, DAC Assist. I'm going to place it on the block diagram, and then I'm going to go to Generate Signals, Analog Output, go to Voltage, and then I'm going to click on either AO0 or AO1, depending on which output I want to use on the MyDAC. So I'll just go with AO0 for now. And you click Finish, and it'll give you a page like this that will pop up. And what you want to do is make sure your max and minimum voltage is set correctly. And you also want to go down here under generation mode and change it to 1 sample on demand. And then you want to hit OK, and you might have to move the window around a bit to find it. So after that, it'll build the VI for you. And now the only thing we need to do is be able to control that. So one way to do that would be to make a numeric control. So you can find a numeric control by right clicking on the front panel, going to numerical controls, and place one on the front panel. Now you can just label it whatever you want. I'll label it AO0 to match the output. And then I will connect this to the DAC assist, and now I'm able to control how much volts or how many volts I want to put to that output. So let's say I want to put 5 volts, and then I will just hit run continuously, and now it is going to constantly send a 5 volt.
Alright, so to begin our lab, start with the circuit at the top of the page here, and we're going to build it on our MyDAC breadboard and then simulate it using LabView. So to begin, first thing we did was built the circuit here using just resistors, wire, the MyDAC, and the breadboard, and that should be everything you need. So we start with the 5 different resistors here, as you can see there, and then from the MyDAC we use the analog input to generate the voltage for the circuit, so that way you can control the voltage through LabView. So that is hooked up with this wire right here over to this node, which would be right here on the schematic, and then this other wire here is going to be the ground for the circuit, which is connected into this node, which is this one right here on the circuit. So once that is hooked up, we can build the VI on LabView, so that way we can send voltage through our circuit. So circuit 2 of this lab goes through pretty much the exact same process as we did for the first circuit, which we hooked up on the breadboard on the MyDAC here. On this breadboard, we've got the second circuit, which consists of another 5 resistors, and they are hooked up to the exact same output on the DAC, which is the AOO, and that's controlled through the exact same VI as the first circuit here. So we can control the voltage through this circuit, and this circuit had 2 voltage sources, so one of them is being controlled through LabView and the other is being hooked up through a 15 volt constant. So once we do that and we ground the circuit, we can take our multimeter and we can measure the current and the voltage across each of these, and we can display our readings on LabView using the NI Elvis instrument launcher and then the digital multimeter, and then we can collect all the data we need.
And then make sure when you're using the DAC assist that if you're measuring voltage to have it plugged in here, or if you're measuring resistance. And if you want to measure current, use this one. And also over here we have the outputs. So here's where you have your outputs here, AO0. And then our 15 volt constant, it's kind of hard to see. would be
this wire right here.
Yep.